How about a few rounds of cards? Gwent specifically.
Okay, so you are another random opponent, which suggests that you shouldn't be that good. We've now gone several rounds with Nilfgaard in a row. Let's switch things up a little bit. I think Monsters is still too far behind to ever have any chance of winning, unless we were to go back to, say, like, White Orchard and still play someone if for some reason there's someone still remaining there. But I think let's go back to Scoia'tael here. And let's just take a quick look at whether there are any big cards hanging out here that we have not added back in, or, you know, that we picked up recently but forgot to include. Don't think I'm seeing any. So let's just jump straight into this one. And I'm hoping... Let's see, you are also Scoia'tael, okay. And you're using the same leader ability as well. What I'm hoping is that you give us a better card when we beat you than your friend did, because your friend gave us a junk card. Here we have Decoy, which with as many medics as we have could certainly work, so that's fine. I think that's a lot better than what we were seeing with our decoys on the Nilfgaard side. Then we have Muster on a Dwarven Skirmisher. That means we don't want any other ones in our hand, and we don't have any, so that's fine. Similar story with the Havakar Smugglers, but we do have 2 of them in our hand. We definitely want to swap out one of them. Then we have some of these other cards where we have some flexibility. We can play them in either the melee or the range row. Not a huge fan of them, but they're at least 6 strength, so they're decent. They're okay. Then we have Yennefer, who is a weak hero in that she only has 7 strength, but she is a medic, so that's good. And then you are probably our best card for Scoia'tael. You are 10 strength, a hero, and you can give +1 to other units in the melee row. Which means that we would probably prefer to play the agile units in the melee row. And we do have most of our other cards are in the melee row besides our medics, but they have 0 strength, so that doesn't make a huge difference. I suppose we could still boost them by 1, in which case they'd be doing something in that case, but we definitely want to get rid of one of you. And we get another one of those 6 strength agile units. Again, probably going to end up playing you in the melee row. But no real game changers here other than you, and I guess to a certain extent Yennefer. It's really just a little bit of muster, lots of flexible agile units, and then the decoy plus healer combo. Suppose we could decoy to play a hero, or to play a healer a second time, and then use that to bring back another medic from our graveyard, and then use that to play something else from our graveyard, and so we could do some pretty zany things that way. But we might stick with this unless we feel like that's just one too many of these agile cards and we'd like to try to get something else, but I do kind of feel that way. Let's see what we can get from it. Swapped it out, and instead we got, Milva, which I think is another one of our best cards. This gives +1 to all units in the range row. You lead off with Dandelion, which is just 2 strength in the melee row, but it is functionally Commander's Horn. You will double every other card in the melee row. So that means you, I'm guessing, will also either have Muster in the melee row like we do, or you will have agile units and you'll choose to play them in the melee row. Which in some ways is okay, because if you are committing hard to melee, then that probably means that you aren't going to melee nerf, and we were thinking ourselves of playing a lot of things in the melee row. The only thing is, you don't want to lead with anything strong here because it would become Scorched, because Dandelion is pretty weak at 2 strength, so I think we probably do want to lead with the hero, assuming we're trying to win round 1. So I think we start off with you, actually, Isengrim, and like I said, this is arguably our best card along with Milva, depending on whether you want to double this row with a Commander's Horn, in which case Milva would be better, or if you want to avoid getting nerfed, in which case Isengrim would be better, and depending on whether you want to go melee or range. But I think we lead off with you. The thing is, that does mean that we are committing pretty hard to this round. We don't want to just throw them out there and then not take advantage of the additional strength in that row. And yes, that is exactly what we're seeing here, as our opponent is playing those agile units that they could play in either the range or melee row. We're choosing to play them in the melee row because they can double them. So that, tell you what, come to think of it, is a little bit of a dangerous game to play, because we can give +1 units in the melee row, yes. That's still not going to be as good as doubling cards in the melee row. So in some ways, Dandelion, he himself does not have as much strength as Isengrim, but the amount of buffing he's doing could be considerably better. So this is not necessarily a race we want to try to participate in, but we're going to give it a shot because we can muster to bring in more units. So even though they're not getting doubled, we're at least giving +1 to multiple units here. So it's not quite as good as doubling, but it's close. But yeah, I already suspect that this will backfire. We'll give it a shot, and we do have enough medics that we can play pretty aggressively here. And worst comes to worst, we bring back some of our cards. Muster is not the best kind of card to bring back with medic, because you aren't going to be able to trigger the muster and bring your cards back from your deck into... Well, muster only works to bring cards back from your deck into the playing field. It does not bring them back from the graveyard into the playing field. So once you've triggered muster once, that is basically all you're going to get out of it. You're not going to get the chance to do it again if you play a muster card from your graveyard. So this, like I said, I already regret having done this, and I think we should cut our losses now. I think got a little bit, well, once I played Isengrim, I was like, well, we should take advantage of playing Isengrim. But like I said, long term, I think Dandelion was going to outpace him. So if it was a short round in which we just play a few cards, then we could have potentially won it, but longer it went, the more likely it was that our opponent would overtake us, and we're just not going to be able to catch them. So I think we definitely need to pass now, but we may have already gone too far, and may have already put ourselves in a place where it's going to be very difficult to get out of this hole. So we lose round 1. We do still have 2-card advantage, which is nice. And that is going to be key here. I think we might see our opponent pass relatively early, but a quick Gorbeth play is very strong. So that's 10 strength, and I suspect they may pass immediately after that. The problem is, all these muster cards, like I was saying, they aren't very good to bring back with a medic. These are at least 5 strength, so you're bringing back 5 strength from it. But these guys are just a simple 3 strength that you're bringing back, which is not that dramatic, especially when medics themselves are only 0 strength. So when you play the medic, it is functionally a 0 or functionally a 3 strength play if you're bringing back the dwarves. At least it's 5 strength if you're bringing back the smugglers, but even that's not great. So think though that we need to... Oh, this is a tough one. Whatever we play here, it is going to be able to get nerfed via a Scorch. Because the medics would not be... Well, I guess even they would be Scorchable even if they have 0 strength. Because they bring someone back, and whoever they bring back is going to be the Scorch target. They bring someone back from the graveyard, and that person they bring back would be the Scorch target. We can't bring back Isengrim, who would be the only person to be immune to it. We could play Yennefer, and she would be immune herself. However, she is a medic, and she would bring someone back from our graveyard. And again, whoever we play from our graveyard would be Scorchable. The only way we can avoid it would be if we played our leader ability here, and remind me what our leader ability is. Doubles the strength of the range row. So that is potentially reason for us to hold on to these cards, these agile cards here, that we were thinking originally that we might play in the melee row. But maybe a blessing in disguise in some ways for that reason, that we held on to them and we might play them in the range row and use them with our leader ability here. I'm a little reluctant to commit to that right now when it's, well, our opponent might immediately pass after doing this. But I think we play our leader ability. We hope our opponent passes immediately. If they do, we play one of the agile cards in the range row and we take this round that way. Kind of think that's going to happen. No, they did it as well. Okay, so they appear to be playing to win this round. Of course, it doesn't double Yorveth because Yorveth is the leader, so he's unaffected by that. But it is also unfortunate in many ways because that does mean that we still will be playing a card that is Scorchable here. And so that was largely the reason why I wanted to play our leader ability when we did, so that we avoided playing a card down here. That if our opponent does have a Scorch, they would not play it, or they'd likely play a unit of some variety, and hopefully that one would suddenly become the Scorch target. we could potentially play something like, say, Milva. And I think you guys might have talked a little bit about this before, but we play Milva. And especially when we have all of our medics here, if Milva does get scorched, and that's okay. She just becomes the person that we bring back with the medics. So I think we can live with that for this reason. I mean, she absolutely has a target on her back right now when we have a 20 strength unit like that. Oh, it is enough. Our opponent is going to immediately pass. That means they just threw away their leader ability when it did absolutely nothing to Yorbeth. This was a lot, yes, for one round, but it is a victory. And remember, we can bring back Milva. So this is actually not that bad. Using Milva here, it's no problem at all. Using our leader ability, that's a little bit tough, but we do still have card advantage here. So that's nice. But once again, whatever we play is going to be scorchable. We could, once again, act on the logic that we play a medic, use the medic to bring back Milva, and then if Milva does get scorched, then we can use the other medic to bring her back. And if she gets scorched again, we can use a decoy to bring back a medic, play the medic, bring back Milva again. We have seen on some occasions our opponents have had as many as 2 scorches. I don't recall if we've ever seen 3 scorches. I just remember there was one time when I said, surely they don't have another scorch, right? And they turned around and played another scorch immediately after. I don't remember if that time they had just 2 scorches or if it was actually as many as 3. If they have one, they're going to play it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so I think what we do here is, I mean, if they have more scorches, that means they have very few units. So I think that's probably fine. Let's use our second medic. No. I don't know if scorches will actually trigger when we only have a 0 strength unit out here. It's like if we played our second medic, I guess if we played our second medic, we'd immediately get Milva back out. So let's do that. Bring her back. Attempt number 2. If you scorch, you can use the decoy to bring back a medic. When we play the medic, bring back Milva. You have a medic of your own, and with that medic, you will bring back a 6 strength unit in the melee row. That's not terribly concerning. The fact that you did not play Scorch does suggest that maybe you do not have any more Scorches. Otherwise, you would have played them there. We'll play you in the range row, because Milva will give you additional strength. Double the melee row, sure, as we saw in round 1, doubling is typically a lot more effective than the +1 we're getting from the likes of Milva and our hero that we played in round 1, yes, but I think we have enough of a card advantage here that I'm not too concerned about that. And it is fine to continue to play those cards, because if someone does get scorched, it will be Milva, and we can find a way to bring her back. Oh, and we also have Yennefer, who could also bring her back, because she's also a medic. That was your last card that you just played, and we are still winning. That does mean that we have won this one for sure. So I think what we still do here is we medic out of one of the medics, or sorry, decoy out of one of the medics, replay the medic, trigger the ability to bring someone back, and it's going to be one of the HALLOWED smugglers, because it's our strongest unit that we have in our graveyard, and then we will play Yennefer. She's also a medic. We'll use her to bring back the other HALLOWED smuggler. And as it turns out, a somewhat comfortable victory there. It didn't feel comfortable, but at least the end result, turns out we certainly were able to pull it off. And it was a little bit weird. Had me a little bit concerned there, but okay, that is not a name I recognize. Let's check that one out. I want to say that was Nilfgaard, or maybe something neutral. I think it was you. So I remember that AEP. In which case, you're a pretty boring card. Just 5 strength, no special abilities. This is probably not a card that's going to make the cut. Like I was saying a while back. 5 strength with no special abilities is usually where I draw the line. Basically, anything better than that is decent. You could make the case that it's worth putting it in your deck. Anything less than that is definitely bad. And anything that is exactly that is just, well, I mean, you'd like to have something better than it. So, I think we do have enough good cards with Nilfgaard at this point in time that we probably don't need to be thrown in the plain and simple 5 strength units. So, This guy probably just sits on the bench for all of eternity. Sorry.
Wonder if he's as strong as he looks.
Who said that? Who said that? Who did that? We'll prove it. Or we just broke out of jail, so like something to be said for that. What about okay, so we have still not explored much of this area. Let's just take a look at the map real quick again. So I think our actual cell, was it in there? I don't know. I've already lost track of where we have and have not been in this little town because, well, we spent so long playing Gwent with those guys. This is the cell. Okay, so let's just retrace our steps a little bit here. Spoken to the Smiths over there, yes, but haven't necessarily gone up here yet. He's just more guards. It definitely seems like this is another Drummond area, that clan, because I know that the Croc's clan was saying they basically run Ard Skellig, but at the same time, these guys are still on Ard Skellig. So it seems like they just, maybe they have a little bit more of a hold in the southern area. This exactly the same place? No, not quite. This is an entirely different building that we have not yet been in, that we could loot. And in it, there is a little bit of water. You're a random Skelliger. It is nighttime, so it is potentially worth meditating here and passing some time and seeing if there are any more people out during the day. We did see that a little while ago in, I think it was in Arnbjorn. There were some shopkeepers who were not available to us because they were presumably asleep. Just to be sure, I mean, we obviously just spoke to the Smiths and played them at cards. They were fine. Butcher? Not sure if we saw you before. So you may not have anything special to say to us. Don't think we've been in this building yet. Doesn't look like it. That's something we could potentially sell to the Smiths. We'll see what else we find, though. Selling them one piece at a time is probably not the most efficient thing we could do. Okay, and then this tent area here? Sure. Okay. Get some alcohol out of it. And an empty bottle. Nah, we'll pass on that one. That's fine. And that means, is this where we just came from, or is this the way out? I think this is the way that we've not yet been. What is this? That's Madman Lugos. Okay, so he might have something special to say to us if we were to speak now. Of course, we have spoken to him before.
Well, what is it?
Well timed on the thunder there. So, yeah. Are you actually... I mean, you're supposedly the Jarl of this place. Are you actually the leader of the Drummond clan?
2 clans on one island. Tough to be neighbors so near each
Yeah.
other.
A neighbor is one who lives nearby, not one who stole half your home. The
I
Uncreed
see.
seized our lands.
In the days of Harold the Cripple. That was 3 centuries ago.
Doesn't change the fact they had no right. I'll rid Ard Skellig of crack and his brood yet.
Oh, say. Okay, so further confirmation that you are, yes, in fact, certainly rivals with the Uncreed. Then why exactly do they call you Madman? I mean, I was expecting you to be truly bonkers, like absolutely insane. And you're certainly angry, it would appear, or at least angry against Croc and the Uncreed, and not happy that you had this corner in here. But you certainly don't seem like the craziest person we've ever met.
Just out of curiosity, why do they call you Madman?
Yeah!
Oh,
That's why.
okay. Thanks, that'll be all.
Farewell, Lugos.
Have a nice day. Understandable. Okay, so I think that's just about. Oh, I thought there were some Drummond guards, and then I thought this guy was just an on-crate guard that was lying down dead. Like, oh, so that's what you do to the on-crate. Gotcha. Nope, it wasn't, though. Okay, definitely don't want to steal that stuff there. Let's just check what is up here. And I think this will be just about everything directly in this area. Okay. Up here? That's lootable, yes, but is this within eyesight of anyone? There are guards up there, I think, and below there. I mean, it's kind of out of sight, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It might be better if we hold off on that. These, I feel a little bit more comfortable about. That is a tall tower. I do wonder if we can actually make it up there. I mean, that is, I'm pretty sure, the area where we just saw Madman Lugos. See anyone getting mad at us? Oh, don't mind if I do. Yeah, but I didn't think I saw any staircases or anything like that. But then again, I wasn't really looking for it. I did not know you were there. You potentially could have seen us looting. Is there anything we can loot here, though? Yes. Not that we really want it. Really, dude? Really? I mean, it would be a terrible thing to do it. But you know what I'm thinking. Hey, buddy, old pal, how's it going? It's quite a drop there, isn't it? Quite a drop. It'd be a shame if, you know, like, say, someone were to fall from this height. You know, some people might say, so soft, break your fall, maybe only crack a couple bones. Me, I think you'd be a goner. Alright, good chat. Pleasure talking to you. Okay. Then, oh, no. You're just a random warrior, okay. Anything else? I mean, yes, there's definitely more loot here. True. At the same time, I'm very reluctant to steal directly in front of the people who very recently threw us in jail. That seems like maybe we should not tempt fate in such a way. Is this the same area of the ramparts, or is this slightly different? Like it might be a little bit higher up. I mean, it is interesting how this area originally looked quite small, but once you factor in all the elevation changes, there actually is a fair bit to this area. Here I was thinking, well, you know, you guys are trying to rival the On-Crate, but it looks like the On-Crate just have a lot more land and people and more impressive locations, you know, cities and fortifications to work with. And what is this area? It's like a storeroom, but also definitely somewhere where I do not feel comfortable stealing things, because there are still people over here. Can we go up even higher still? I mean, I feel like if we wanted to, we could just spend forever running around in circles here, going up higher and seeing more of these dudes, and not really feeling like we have enough space in which to take any of the lootable items, because these guys are clearly going to catch us. I'm tempted to try to walk on the roof there, but I think we all know how that would end. Probably very similar to how we were just talking to our friend at the top of the other part of the wall. Maybe we can leave this. Well, can we? No, that doesn't lead anywhere. That makes sense. It looks like that was pretty walled off anyway. Yeah. Guess this is. Ooh, hello. A little bit of a staircase here. Not that we'll use it. Okay. I think we've done most of what there is to do directly in the city here. So let's leave if we can find the exit. Here it is. Adios. Okay. So let's double check what we can do in southern Ardskellig. Oh, I saw something there. Yeah. There were definitely some things over here. There are things there. Oh, those are guard dogs. Okay. That shouldn't be a concern. In that case, they should be lootable unless you have friends right there who get mad at us that are hanging out with the guard dog. But PDPR, I think we have enough of an angle. This is blocking it. Yeah, there are guards along with them. Warriors, to be more specific. Oh, the guard dog's playing. So let's double check. Oh, actually, this is the jail-ish place, but there is still a little town here, and that's actually the place with the notice board. So yeah, let's go there first. See what we can find out from checking that out. I'm assuming these are just ultimate guard dogs. I'm assuming this is also going to be a Drummond clan village. Looks like it. Oh, for a second looked like you might have been someone a little bit more special than just an average shield, maybe. Okay, there's definitely the notice board, yes. This is technically a separate town. Where is the notice board? Oh, it's right here. Okay. So, a duel for Gunna. Hallower and Skiel both desired Gunna, Falgir's daughter. Gunna said she will accept the stronger of the two. The suitors will duel till first blood is drawn. Thus spoke the Council of Elders. Okay. Harold Torstenson is dead. Hark! Yesterday, the heart of Harold Torstenson, our father, husband, and above all else, a warrior of Clan Drummond, stopped beating. Though he was in 23 raids and fought in 7 wars, he died in his own bed. Gods have mercy on him. Bolbark is missing. My 14-year-old son, Volbark, hasn't returned home for 10 days. I fear he enlisted for a raid against the Black Ones, despite my prohibition. If anyone knows what happened to him, let me know. That could very well be one of the missing sons. Or at the very least, we should get undiscovered locations, but I meant to pick this up and continue to look at the other ones, not to close the notice board. Herbs for sheep plague. The sheep on our island are dying. I'm sure it's the work of Clan Diamond. Don't think we've heard that name before. If you don't want to lose your flock, you need to buy my special brew of herbs and give it to your sheep. Keep the plague at bay. I don't know about that. Something tells me it's all made up, and your special potion doesn't actually do anything. Will shear sheep. Sheep shearer looking for hire. No better shearer in the village than me. In the time others need for one ram, I shear the whole flock. And I pick up good speed, the shepherd and his dog, too. Okay. Then yes, definitely undiscovered locations, which is typically what happens whenever we look at a notice board. That should mean that even though I don't think we technically got any direct quests out of that, we should see more question marks, particularly I would assume in the southern Ardskellig area and maybe off the coast of it. Definitely things in and around the islands or the ocean. I'm not really sure we want to do much of that here. There are lots of question marks that are close by. There is still another neighboring little town here we might also want to go to, see if there's anything going on there. And then maybe check out the question marks? Let's try that. Or there could still be other people to speak to here. We've mostly just gone to the notice board and not much else. I assume there could very well be a little bit more. Is there a problem? Oh, that's not really what I meant to do. I meant to speak to the butcher. But, doesn't seem like there's anything special to speak to you all about. Dude, hold on.
Oi, mate!
Don't actually trying to call her name for something? I don't know. I mean, there actually don't seem to be many, if any, guards in this area here. We might actually be able to steal this stuff, but what is this notice? Good people, time has come to put a stop to these pirates. Every man fit to bear arms, gather on shore. They're not expecting us. Catch them unawares. We, of course, know that pirating is very common for Skellige, but we don't necessarily know if it's largely one clan in particular, or one clan targeting another clan. And that's the same thing. So I wonder if, this appears to be a Drummond village, like we were saying before. Are they protecting themselves from Uncrate? This is a name I recognize. This is the missing brothers person, I think.
Traveler.
Oh no, this is the stolen horn person. I take it back. That's why I recognize the name.
Got back your stolen horn, and I, killed the thieves.
Shame that. They weren't evil men.
Oh,
Didn't give me a
Sorry.
choice. Where's my reward?
now that we talked about this in advance, because we just
next
happened to across it. Like,
Slay some damn monsters.
come on, Richard. Take out the monsters, not the people. Otherwise, you're the monster. Alright, if you insist. That's locked. We got a whopping 20 crowns for it. Then again, it's not like that was a terribly difficult or ambitious quest. We, like I said, just kind of happened across it by accident. We go through here. Never mind the fact that that boy appears to be spitting at us. As are you. Greetings to you too. Guys? Also just Skelligers. And nothing special to loot here. Boring. Is there anything special in this town other than speaking to you and getting to the notice board? That might have been it. It is pretty small, this area here, and in many ways at least feels like a bit of an extension on the other towns that we've already been to in this area. In that it's very close by, and the more military presence in the place where there was the actual jail, and then this is more residential, it would seem, and then maybe if we go to the other neighboring place down by the water, we'll find that it's a little bit more businessy. So let's see. Anything else before we head out? I don't think so. I think we just head down here, board the other establishment, and we check it out. See what there is. I think it's to the left, but I could be wrong, so let's double check. It is yes to the left. If we keep going straight, though, we will end up at this question mark. Or actually, that would be left and just don't go to the second fork to the left. Maybe we give that a shot while we're heading in this general direction. Let's see what amounts to this. I'm curious. Okay. That means you take this left here, but then you stay right on this one. Let's just make sure this person is not, like, person in distress. Doesn't look like it. Nothing particularly notable about you. But we are expecting something notable right around here-ish. Looks like it might be maybe a bandit camp based on how I'm just seeing some monster or enemies already.
What now, you piece of...
Ow. That was rude. It is in fact a bandit camp. And those are in fact bandits. Who would have known? Okay. That's not technically how we should fight you. Come on. Oh, I was in the process of... Oh, no, that was the sign button, not the block. That's the block button. Hold on. Give me another shot. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. You sidestep that. Oh. Ooh. That was busy. Taking out your friend. Okay, Geralt. Sure. That's one way to take them out, though. Okay. This, I think, is going to be the big chest. And Sulfur Pearl we saw is not bad. And Glowing Ore, I think, is the big one. Chitinous Shells, not too bad. An okay longsword. Unlikely for us to actually want to use it ourselves, but check it out. That was, I think, the big one, like I was saying. And then here and out will just be what they themselves dropped. And that means this here. And one around here, yes. Okay, let's just see if there's anything right nearby. I thought I saw something showing up on our Witcher sentence for a minute there. down in this direction. And that is getting to the shoreline. It's a little bit further away from town. We could potentially go down here and then just work our way down south until we make it there. Curious what the deal is with this shopkeeper here, traveling merchant. It does seem like oftentimes the traveling merchants, we've actually seen them before because they cover a lot of ground. We just hop over here for a second. Don't know if you're headed toward us or away from us. There you are, and the answer is, I think, toward. Well, you're not exactly going fast. Let me zoom up real quick. No, you're going away from us. Catcha. How have we seen you before?
Looking to buy?
We appear to have. Okay, so I mean, we could sell them.
Show me your wares.
I don't think there's going to be anything too ridiculous for us to buy or sell. Mostly just things that we just picked up from fighting those bandits. It's a convenient way to dump them. And then this was the sword. And it does have a ton of critical damage bonus. Yes. A little bit lower in terms of the base damage, but I think this is actually even better than the blade from the bits, the one that we got from of Swords and Dumplings. I think that had 50% additional critical hit damage bonus, and that was it. This has additional critical hit damage bonus and a few other stats, and I think possibly even higher base damage as well. So that's kind of what I meant by how that sword that we got from that quest was actually not that great. But I think that's also further proof, as we're seeing here, that it should be fairly simple for us to pick up more swords that are good on the crit. And so I think we can wait until we find one that is both good for crit and also high on damage. Now you're headed in this direction after we spoke to you. And I think, although we are, again, getting kind of close to maybe this one, this question mark here, that's on a different path, or at least slightly off of a different path. Let's head back to this town here before we stray too far from it, because I think there's a lot of ground here that we could potentially explore, putting that question mark there, but that's a little further away. So let's head back here first. There's just snow hares? Okay. Let's bring Roach back. Don't remember where we abandoned her last time. Of course, we did go down this path at least a little bit before. Not really expecting to see much.
Run,
where
Roach.
we fought the bandits, at least kind of, sorta. Was there something in this little area here, though? In the wagon? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't seem like that's the case, so we'll just keep on moving.
Slow now.
And
Whoa.
I think this is going to be our way into the town area. Yup. Does seem so. Holmstein. Yes, more drumming, as expected. Definitely more military presence, actually, potentially even more. We did see that notice asking people to report to the shoreline, fend off the pirates, so maybe that's a little bit of what we're seeing here. Definitely some boats over there doing something. Let's check them out real quick. Then we'll go back to town and see what people have to say. What's actually going on here. I'm curious. I mean, these look like big Viking longships. Don't think they're actually saleable. There is a little bit of loot here. And silver ingot, and I actually missed what that first crafting item was, but I think that might have been okay as well. Yeah, these are not bad. Okay, 4 crowns is not a huge difference, but sapphire dust is also pretty good. Okay. Sounds like a drowner of some variety. And I just wanted to see, can we go on this? / in this? The answer appears to be yes, which is pretty sweet. I mean, technically we did go on a boat that might have been, I don't think it was a long ship like this, but it was some kind of boat that brought us over here to Skeleton to begin with. Obviously we know how that ended. Did we get this one? We did. Okay. just hop on, see if there's anything loot-wise in any of these. I kind of doubt it, but can we actually drive these? Yeah, I doubt it, because, you know, it's, yeah, maybe a bit of a stretch for one person to be sailing the boats that we typically take out. Maybe not so much so. But, having one person, steer and actually row these things, that'd be a little ridiculous.
Looks like rain.
So, perhaps understandable that we can't take one out ourselves. Cool as it may have been. Did we already take this? I think we already took that. Now let's go back into the actual village itself and speak to some people and see what we can find out about the area.
A rolling gale.
Anyone have anything special to say to us?
Oh,
Or special to give us? And by give us, I mean allow us to steal. Because right now, I'm not terribly impressed. Oh, one other thing I forgot was we were in a tavern not that long ago, and we are technically still looking for a little bit more of those alcoholic beverages in order to create the white gull. We were one, maybe two types of ingredients away from it, and I think they were all relatively rare / valuable alcoholic beverages that we somehow have not found in the many types of alcoholic beverages that we've looted. But I assume we would ultimately be able to purchase from one of those shopkeepers, one of the tavern keepers. Can we take from here or not? Seems like we can't. No one's getting mad at us. So let's do it. The pork. Okay. Sure. There is definitely a shopkeeper in this direction, the merchant.
You're looking
Let's
to
see what
buy
you have.
something? Well, you're in for a surprise. We're just as well stocked as any land-bound shop in Novigrad.
You sure about that?
Come on, let's do some trading.
Geralt is enthusiastic about that. That is actually a better saddle than what we have currently equipped. Wow. I'm pretty surprised. Saddle bags are the same as what we currently have, but that's, you know, not bad. Guy maybe wasn't exaggerating that much. Let's pick those up. Upgrade its saddle. And I'm thinking we might have some random junk that we can sell to you. Things like, we sold some crafting items not that long ago, but I'm thinking things like our furs and hides and stuff like that we oftentimes pick up a lot of. Dump all those. Some of the things that we break down into components. Probably fine to do here for a little bit. And then I was thinking mostly the pelts. Those can add up to a little bit. You actually have a ton of gold. Wow. Pretty uncommon to see for these non-specialized merchants. The blacksmiths and armorers, that a little more common. But this random tradesperson, I suppose we did just buy a really nice saddle from you, and that's probably why. I don't remember how much that cost us, but it was a really nice saddle, so that's probably the primary reason why you're suddenly looking at a much heavier wallet.